Oh fuck.
Oh no.
Oh, Kenny is on Dean's account. Paul.
Huh?
Paul. Wait, Dean
What?
looks different.
Yeah, hold on.
What do you mean?
If you check the Twitch channel, um,
Oh, that? I haven't been to
yeah,
Twitch in
Dean
forever.
looks different, man.
And,
This is our entire like intro right now.
there you go.
Ah.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to check.
And,
All right. So Paul's not doing webcam today.
Nah. I'm not presentable right
Oh,
now.
there he is. There's Paul. Okay.
There he is. No. Hello, welcome.
to another
Welcome
episode
back
of
to-
the Nincompoops podcast. I am your host
Well-
today, Paul, and my co-host Jim, Dean, and our featured guest of the week, Caddy.
Yeah.
Where's-
Woohoo. Hello. Been a while, everyone.
It has
Did,
been
did
a
we
while.
did we actually start?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We actually did? Alright. I
Well,
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if we were goofing or not.
I mean, no, Paul, we did not. We did not yet. We're still goofing.
Alright, cool. Alright. Time to
Checking
tell
the
you guys
thumbnail
this. Alright,
of
before
our-
we start, let me tell you guys like the secrets of the Declaration of Independence with my good friend Nicolas Cage.
I didn't know you're good friends with him. When did this happen, Paul? I wasn't gone that long, you know.
well, according
It's
to
been a
our,
while.
I'm only basing this off our YouTube thumbnails, but the last time you were on, Kenny, was 4.5 months ago.
Okay, maybe it's been a while.
Was that the last? Was that the last time you showed up before you started your last job that you no longer work at?
I believe so. Yes. Because I believe I
okay.
took a week. I believe I took a week off, and then that's when I got called and I did that stuff, and then I haven't been back since. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh really? You stopped working? At working for the old musky South African?
Exactly.
Oh damn.
Now I'm at your old employment place,
Mm.
the one where you took advantage because it was so close, Paul.
I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
I went through orientation today.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's like seasonal work or
Yeah, for now, and then hopefully, if they like me, they move me to permanent.
that's what they told me too.
Yeah.
And then, that's what they
Wait.
told me too, and then they cut everyone. So I was like,
How do you know you got cut before everyone else, though?
No, I looked at the schedule. It's like the one they place like in front of the break room. I looked at the schedule like, oh wow, I'm not on here. Then I looked at everyone else's like, oh, everyone else is blank too. All right, I guess everyone's getting cut. So,
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything
Like-
crazy happened for you guys this weekend?
this weekend?
Not this weekend.
Oh, I do. I
Oh, it's
do have.
Halloween weekend, right?
Yeah. Nah, that's pretty quiet. Pretty quiet Halloween for me. No doorbells or anything like that. So, all right, cool. We didn't have any candy, so it didn't even matter.
Since I'm in a brand new neighborhood, we had a lot, but it stopped around 9.
Oh, really?
But they
What time did
stopped
they start?
5?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kinda early.
For 4 hours?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
We still have a bag of candy left.
How many bags did you guys start off with initially?
2. We have 2 bags.
Oh, wow. How big is your guys' bag?
The one they sell at Target, the little tiny. It's like
The mix.
Oh, the mix?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was being pretty generous too. I just let them like grab like a handful.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you just like gave them the bag and like take what you want and all that. You didn't even like hand it to them.
We put it
Oh,
in
okay.
and like here. The parents would be
Gotcha.
like, okay, take one. I'm like, no, take two. Go grab more.
Grab more.
I don't want it.
The kids are gonna be like, oh, that's the house to be at next year.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Right now, since it's a new neighborhood, no one knows what the meta is for like the houses with the best candy.
Yeah.
or well, like the king size Snickers bars and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all fair game.
Yeah. I think you guys seen the neighborhood, right? Like they have like
Yeah.
Halloween decorations. Like some.
Oh
of them
yeah,
are
that's
all
true.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there like a week before Halloween, right? So I mean,
I think it
There
was
were
2 weeks.
it wasn't fully decorated yet. I would
Yeah.
assume so.
Wasn't fully, but it was definitely more than I remember seeing in any
Mhm.
surrounding area for me. So
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
One neighbor went all out. Like their whole front yard was like Halloween.
yeah, I think for my neighborhood, I've seen only one house like dress up for Halloween. That's it. Everything
Did
else just like regular.
Did you pass out candy, Paul?
Nah, we didn't.
Oh,
We didn't
okay.
buy any candy this year, so we're like, all right, if there's any kids knocking or ringing the doorbell, we're just gonna ignore them. Fuck them kids.
Did that happen though?
No one came. So I'm like,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
cool, awesome.
Yeah. Just going based off your area, since I'm like kind of nearby, I'm
Yeah.
assuming the same thing happened for my house too.
Oh yeah.
Cause I was at home for Halloween. I was at a family's house for a funeral ceremony, and then like I felt bad for all the kids there who had to be there, so I was like, I'll go to Target, and then I bought a bag. Like, here you guys go. I made a little goodie bag for all of them. I was like, Happy
Nice.
Halloween, yeah.
Nice.
And then they were all like, how much candy is in each bag? This is pretty heavy. I'm like, I don't know. There's like 8 of them. This is like a 3-pound bag. Just divide that in 8.
2 minutes in a Glock.
And then yeah, I was walking to that family friend's house, and
Mhm.
then I was already like halfway across the 4-way stop, and then um this this middle-aged fellow, he in a truck, of course, and then he didn't stop and goes and almost hit me, so I used my hydro flask to bonk on his window,
Nice.
and then he cracked his window a little bit,
Oof.
and then he stopped, and then he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Bitch, you blind? Don't you see me walking?" Apparently not, cause you ran that stop sign, so you didn't even see that either. And then you're gonna pay for this shit, and then I'm like, "You can suck my dick for all I care. I'm not paying for shit."
Oof.
And then he's like,
Damn.
"I'm gonna call the cops." I'm like, "Go for it, call them, bring it over. I'll wait right here. Go ahead." You know what? And then I sat on the back. You know how the like the Tacomas have that little step to step up and then go into the trunk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I sat on that to disrespect him even more.
Damn.
God damn.
And then he's like, "You better get off my truck." I'm like, "You better call the cops." And then so he called the cops, and then in about, I want to say, 8 minutes, one sheriff arrived, and then like, what seems to be the problem here? And then I'm like, this guy right here almost hit me. I was already halfway across, and then he ran the intersection without stopping, and then almost hit me. So I got my hydro. As you can see, there's a dent. I bashed into his window, and you see the crack. I did that. And then, "You shouldn't be doing that, sir." And then I'm like, "Well, so you're saying his car is more important than my life?" And then she's like, "I'm not saying that." And then I'm like, "That, yeah, you are, because you're only talking to me. I haven't seen you try to speak a single word to the other guy. How about you stand right here? Let me get my car. Let me try to hit you then." And then it's like,
Police car.
and then you could do the same thing with my hydro flask, but this time I'm gonna hit you, but you're gonna hit my car. Let's see which one happens first, okay? And then she's like, well, then that way, then I'm gonna have to charge you for premeditated assault. And then I'm like, well, I'm just saying this is just a scenario, because that's gonna happen to me. It seems like you care about his life more than mine, so his car more than my life. So I'm gonna assume you're gonna care about my car more than your life. So you'd rather get hit, right? She's like, no. And then I'm like, that's what he's exactly saying. And then I was like, all right, since you quote unquote say you care about my life, then you stay here. I'm gonna go in my car and do the same thing to you. She's like, no, we're not doing that. And then I'm like, okay, so since you're not gonna play with that, I just do the race card. So I'm like, is it because I'm Asian?
Like.
And then I'm like, and then that person white and you're white, so you guys team me up against me now right now? Let me speak to your superior. Like, oh no, let me speak to him right now. Don't worry. And then I'm like, oh, now you want to start to speak to him, right? Why don't you just bring your superior over or something? I don't want to talk to you. I don't trust you right now. I don't feel comfortable. You're gonna hit me with your car too. And then I'm like, you see that little camera on your vest? That's called a body cam, you know? We could have your supervisor come here and see how you're treating me right now. And then he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm talking to him right now. I'm like, nope, bring somebody else. I don't want to talk to you. And then called another person, and then it was the next officer looked mixed. He listened to my side of the story, and then it's like, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. I'm like, right? But he's like, you shouldn't have done that either. I'm like, yeah, but I care about my life. This you could fix. Human life you can't fix. Like, that's true. So I got let go, and then
Nice.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
considering how the interaction went, I would think you got off pretty lucky there, because
Yeah, you did.
that could have been way worse than what happened.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
ready to duke it out with the guy too. Stomp him out, and I get a car.
By the way, since we're kind of on the thing, just for anyone out there who's gonna encounter a cop at some point, because maybe you get pulled over for some traffic violation or maybe something else. A piece of advice for anybody who's listening is that when you encounter a cop, you just never want to tell them anything really, because when they show up and let's say you pull over or something, just hand them your license registration. Make sure that your hands are visible. You make sure you record every encounter you have with cop. So he has a body cam, but sometimes he can kind of tilt his body in a way where his body cam's not facing you, so it doesn't show what he's doing when his body cam's not capturing what his arm is doing on his side. And just always record everything you're doing with one phone. So keep your hands open. Have a phone in one hand. And recording your interaction. If they ask for your license and registration, you give them that. If they're talking to you about how your day went, don't say anything. What you can tell them or ask of them is like, hey, am I being detained or am I free to go? And then beyond that, do not tell him anything, because anything that you can say, if he tells you like, "Hey, how's your day?" You said good or bad, he can use that against you. If he asks you like, "Is everything all good?" You say yes or no, he can use that against you. Anything that you can say, and this is something that cops do, is that when they read you your rights, the part where it says anything you say can be used against you in court, it is true, because the body cam and also yeah, anything you say they can use against you, so that you get violated for a traffic offense, or maybe or maybe something else. Maybe it's just like a home dispute, like house dispute or something, domestic dispute. You want to be able to not give them any information that can be used against you. If they give you like a cup of water, or like if they bring you to the station and they give you a cup of water or a cup of coffee, don't drink from it, because they can collect that DNA and then use that to use that against you as well. So pretty much the short of it, just like do the bare minimum, and then when it comes to like anything else, when interacting with the cop, refuse anything they try to give you, and even though they're nice to you, because they're gonna be nice, they're gonna say stuff like, hey, it's a rough, this is my job, man, like, can you just make it easier? I'm trying to help you out, and you can help me out and we can work out something. That is don't interact with that as well. Just shut the fuck up and then don't say anything, okay? So because with Kenny's situation, he got really lucky where the second guy, the second cop he talked to was a lot more like reasonable, but like, you can't expect every cop to be like that, because cops generally have cops are generally more hungry for power. Like they like to abuse their power a lot more. So some asshole cops can just be like, well, with Kenny's case, they can be like, well, that guy, like, yeah, that's property damage, and you caused it when you could have not caused it. And Kenny's reasoning, which I think is much more justified, saying, hey, look, like he could have, killed me or injured me, or whatever else, and you care more about me hitting his car than you are about, the potential of my life being taken away, but they don't care. They can just use that information against you if they really wanted to. So, yeah, just the short of it, just shut the fuck up, okay? Like, if you're like going to buy some cocaine off a factory across the city, you show up and the cops bust in, like, this is a fucking police. Everyone, put your hands up, all right? Just pretend like you're not there for drugs or anything. Just be like, hey, man, I was just. I'm just here, and then just shut the fuck up from there, okay? Like, do not try to instigate yourself in any way. So, yeah.
What I did is not a proper thing to do, but
definitely not
some-
proper
so-
at all.
When you're
sometimes-
frustrated, it's hard to be like, all right, I'm gonna be collected, I'm gonna be calm, I'm gonna be cool, you know. But still, try to remember that in the back of your head. If that happens to you next time, because you know, if that the second cop wasn't as reasonable as he was, then yeah, it could have been bad for you. Even though the other guy was much more at fault than you were, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, but
So to all
again,
the
just shut the
viewers,
fuck
don't
up.
do what I did. Yep.
Yeah,
Unless
definitely,
you're lucky.
definitely,
Oh, go ahead, Paul. Go ahead. Go.
yeah, definitely don't do what Kenny did. Dude,
Yep.
I was like, legitimately like, oh, this is. I know it ends well because Kenny's right here, obviously. But I'm like, well, I was
Yeah.
like listening to this, I'm like, this does not sound good at all.
think-
This is
I
like
think
this could
Kenny
easily go
was-
really bad.
If Kenny was black or if Kenny was Hispanic, I think that could have went worse for him as well. Because like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it is where we live. And it's more diverse and everything, but it's a possibility that would have been worse for him because that does show in the the data we have on the police encounters where if you're of certain ethnicities, you do have to be more careful about how you interact with police. And yeah.
Actually, guys, I'm actually incarcerated. They gave me an hour to be here. No, I'm just
Oof.
kidding.
This is your one phone call, you're like,
Yep.
fuck my lord, I'm just gonna join the podcast,
It's how he gets more messages out to the world.
Yep.
Priorities,
and
you know.
ears.
Yeah.
It's a genius
That's-
plan. All the Kenny fans out there will now start spreading the news.
That's true. All the Kenny fans are being reawakened right now by him coming back, so they're just gonna storm down to the police station and be like, hey, you shouldn't miss my boy like that.
And then I'm a cause for a civil right. No, I'm just kidding.
Oof.
Free Kenny 2022.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your guess is like it's almost 2022.
Mm-hmm.
It's already November.
Yeah,
It's already
Yeah,
been.
Yeah.
Flew by.
It's
I
gonna
remember.
be almost more than 2 years since COVID started going around. It's kind of
Yeah, I was about to say. Remember near the end of 2020, we're like, oh man, thank God this year's almost over. Can't wait for 2021. Hopefully, it's all better or much better than last year.
Yeah, isn't
mean-
it funny how dumb humans are? Like, I'm including myself in this, where you're like,
Yeah.
because the number and the year changes, you're like, it has to be better now, but like literally, like yeah, like it doesn't mean it's different just because it's a different year,
It's like it's more psychological. It just like makes us feel like, oh, it's a new leaf. It's like
It's a superstition, basically. It's just like we're like telling us we tell ourselves that to have hope, basically.
yeah, indeed. I mean, it's like similar to like waking up on a new day, kind of, but on a larger scale.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, even though we're saying like, man, that we're dumb for like believing that it's going to be any different, but low key, even though I know that to be true, low key, I'm like, man, I kind of hope 2022 better than the last 2 years,
Same.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
you always want things to be better, but
Yeah.
but a part of you has to remember, which it doesn't, because humans are not logical, like that the year change won't make things better just because the year's, like just because it's 2022 does not mean it's gonna. You're hoping that year's gonna be better, like it could just be bad or even worse. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. I mean, I think it's just. I think
people
it's
do
just
not
like,
understand stats at all,
yeah. I mean, I think it's just like clean organization to like divide things up by year, but like how bad it was and compare and contrast like the other years. It's just cleaner to like compare that way.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything.
it's not
against
based on logic
humans.
or anything. Yeah, no.
Yeah. It just makes us feel better. It makes me feel better, hoping that maybe next year will be better. Even though it's like, look into politics, it's hard to not be doomer, but
Yeah, I'm not
Carry
sure if I
on.
mentioned this before, but I remember like, I might have even mentioned this the last time we did an episode, but I remember back in May, we were all vaccinated. We were like, all right, things are it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming soon. And I remember I was like, yeah, let's just not bring that up, because I mean,
let's stop talking about COVID because like it's near the end. It's like
and
no
no,
point.
but it's November and we're still here, and people are still not vaccinated. Several months later, so we're stuck in the same spot as we were before. And now we're just like, well, maybe 2022. That's when we
Fingers
go back
crossed,
to normal.
baby.
Yeah.
2025, baby. 2025. The earliest.
I still remember when I was told I was crazy for thinking COVID would last about like 2 to 3 years. Was like my assumption based off like the whole Spanish flu back in like after the First World War, which lasted like around that amount of time. Now I'm like, all right, cool.
Isn't it wild that we've done this podcast throughout the entire pandemic, and then, you know, we're like more than a year and a half. I mean, we're like a year and a few months into it, but yeah, we're still at the same spot. Like, yep, they're quarantined. It's not as much a quarantine in where we live.
No, I don't think we've been doing quarantine at all.
Yeah, but
Not
you know,
at
like
all.
there's still a lockdown to a certain extent, and like we can't just like literally just walk around with no masks, like everyone's in one giant spot, you know.
Well, when I think of lockdowns, I think of like, literally you have to stay inside your homes, and the times where you're able to go to establishments are limited. I think the times are about the same. The only thing is like get vaccinated, wear a mask, and all that. Social distance.
Yeah, but I mean, we're still enforcing the mask thing, so I mean,
yeah, but
everything else is basically the same, like as was last year.
Yeah, I don't count that as lockdown when you're being forced to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I think it's just,
I feel like
forced to wear shoes
I
or
still
clothes.
think it is because you're still locked down from doing things like just going to like a highly populated place without a mask. Like you're still not allowed to do that. So in a way, it's like a lesser degree of lockdown. But I still think it would still be considered a lockdown. But we could argue semantics, Paul, or we can just move on. So
I mean, yeah.
I feel like the mask
can
thing is
move on.
more like a little restriction. But yeah. What is it? So there was something I was gonna bring up, but I lost my train of thought for that.
Got you. Well, I'll just like hop in for now. I do want to like apologize for like last week for why we didn't do a podcast. Simply for the
we didn't
fact
do a
that
podcast episode.
we were going to do a podcast episode last week, like as usual by plan. But I think last week, about the day before on a Tuesday when I was at the gym, I was like, oh yes, finally I'm back to the gym after like 2 weeks after having like a cold. Finally came back. There's Cloud right there.
Yep.
In the background. And then when I was trying to do squats at the squat bar, I messed up while putting the plates on, and then try to like pull the bar down, like set up. So like I could finally do squats. I messed up, and then I like pulled my neck really bad. So it was really bad. I was like could not move my neck at all without being in like excruciating pain like at all the entire day and the next day. So I'm like I can't do the podcast. It's every time I move around I'm like yelping, so I don't want to make noises every time. So I'm like, I'm just gonna call it off. So if anybody of you guys in the audience were like wondering like why no podcast, that's why. I injured myself. So yeah. There's that. Still healing though, but it's not too bad. Especially in person. I can like move around again. Even though I can still feel like little tinges of pain here and there. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Bitch. That was kidding.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is. Life happens. When you get older, your body tends to like,
Crumble down.
not crumble down, not take injuries as well as when you were younger. I'm pretty sure we talked about this multiple times before in the past, but
Yeah.
old man body, not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun indeed. It's only downhill, more downhill from here. Mm-hmm.
But you know what is uphill? Me having a bidet. My shits have never been better from the comfort of my own home.
Right. You're finally part of the bidet gang.
Yeah.
Which bidet did you get?
I got. I believe I got the same model as Dean, but if it's not, it's still the same brand. I got a Toto bidet.
I think you got
Oh,
the
okay.
brand new model because mine doesn't
Did
have
I?
a blue light.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mine's all
Oh,
green.
blue.
Like one of the
Oh, okay.
LED lights is blue.
Yeah. I don't know. Because other than the water spout itself, I think the other features I saw was like obviously the seat warmer is one of them.
Ooh.
You could there's like the temperature of the water.
Mhm.
I think there was like a dryer. There was like a
Yeah.
deodorizer. And something else. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Some that sort of stuff. I don't know. If it's newer, I don't know what's newer. Yeah.
Were you able to use all the options so far?
I haven't experimented too much, but yes, I've been using it. I tried the warm water, but it wasn't warm when I used it. But then when my brother used it, it was warm for him because I forgot to switch it back to cold, and he was just like surprised by how warm it was. He was like, "What the fuck?" He's getting used to it slowly. Like, it was weird for him at first, and then he said today, like it felt a little easier to take.
Yeah.
a little easier to take that water up my ass.
Yeah,
The
you know.
pressure at 5.
I'm at 4 right now, but the 5, I'm like, damn, I kind of want a 5 right now.
I don't know.
But yeah.
It's
You should have messed with your brother.
I don't think my mom's been using it though. She
Yeah?
hasn't commented on it yet, so she hasn't. I don't think she's used it yet. So she's just like, "Why the fuck would I use this when I have toilet paper?" I'm just,
Yeah.
Oof.
so people need
how,
that.
how are
sold
the
yet.
how are the two? Do you get 2 cats or was it 1 cat?
2. So we got 1 at first, and then after 2 weeks, my sister had a kitten that she needed to find a home for because like the litter, they found homes except for the one that she wanted, and she wanted like us to have it because then she could just visit the one that she likes the most anytime she wanted. And so we picked up the second one 2 weeks after the first one, and so now we have 2, and then we've had them for I think it's been 2 months or so, 2 months and like a week or 2. But yeah, we have 2 now, and yeah, they've been sleeping all day actually, but they're sleeping right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Has your sister actually visited them?
Yeah, she visited them pretty often. She asks for pictures of them all the time. I'm just like,
Oh, okay.
you can just come see them because yeah, they're always gonna be there. They've gotten so big though, because the first one we got, when I first got him, he was like super tiny, like the size of like maybe my fist and a half. He would like sleep in my slippers and shit. But now he's so fucking big. He's such a big boy now. He's like this big now. Yeah. He's huge now. He's gotten so big that he can just jump on a stove, which means that we have to like whenever we cook something or are about to eat something, we have to lock him up inside a room because otherwise he's just gonna jump on a stove and fucking raid the food. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the food's important too.
Yeah, it's been fun. They have like each of them has some quirks. Like the female cat, Nova, she like anytime she sees me raid the fridge, she makes like a break for it to like just go in the fridge and just lay in it. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like anytime like she sees me like, go up to the fridge, she's like ready to fucking jump in, like run inside. And yeah, but it's been cool.
Speaking
Nice,
of
nice.
Yeah.
we got told Paul about this. We have an air fryer. Woo! I've been fucking.
Hey.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you did tell me about that yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
it is nice.
Did you get like one?
I
Did you get
have
one of
as
the
well.
cheaper ones, or you get one of like the more like fucking bigger premium ones?
It's big, but I don't know if it's a premium. My mom bought it, so it
Oh, okay.
arrived, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And she said, "Like, oh, it's an air fryer." And I was like, "All right, time to test the limits."
Yeah, my mom bought an air fryer too, but it's like one of the cheaper ones, so like you can't really put that much. But I don't know, we haven't used it yet for some reason, but it's there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's big.
Everyone who owns their air fryer though, like always swears by it, so it must be good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family owns one as well. It's I don't know where my mom got it. I want to say Costco because safe guess.
Mhm.
Usually something like that. It's like one the ones you guys got is like one of those like tall blackish ones with like the handle at the bottom and the buttons and all that at the top.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you described like half the air fryers out there, or majority of them.
I don't know. I'm not an air fryer connoisseur, so I have
Me
not
neither.
compared or contrast with like any others. I'm just like saying like this is the one I see every day when I go into the kitchen. So I'm like just describing what I see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I would not have like used an air fryer had my family bought it because I'm like, why would I need this? I have a microwave if I want to heat stuff up. I put the thing in there, press 30 seconds, wait a couple seconds, and then boom, it's warm. It's good enough for me. So
Doesn't air fryer cook it though? I mean, the microwave can technically cook it, it's just not like just saying.
oh yeah, it definitely cooks it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
You
it's a
want
fryer.
soggy fries or like crispy fries? Because I reheated
Yeah.
I reheated McDonald's fries and then damn, that shit was good air fried.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like a bunch of like fries that is like frozen or just like reheating like fast food fries. It's both like really good. Like it has like a nice crunch to it if you get the timing right.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, like, as a Neanderthal of me, like me, I'm like, it's like if you told me like here's an air fryer, I'm like, why would you need this? I don't understand. Same with
I
the
mean, it's okay.
same with the people who are like, what the a bidet? What do you need that? What do you need water to shoot up your butt? That's weird. Like, why would you need that? We have toilet paper, you know. So I'm not as big of an advocate for air fryers as I am for bidets, but I'm like, I get the idea. I like it.
Yeah.
It works.
It's okay.
I just want a super big one where you could like mass fry a bunch of stuff all together, like how it is for just oil.
Just add,
But-
make it so you can like air fry wings or something. Just like a bunch of wings, just toss them in there and just fry them all at once. You know.
I think when
Sounds
I
good.
with the air fryer I have here, I think the most I could put is like 3 chicken drumsticks at a time, and then like
Oh yeah.
it's like I think I should have just fried it regularly, and then I could
Yeah,
have put
no,
like
yeah.
8 of
I
them,
think
9 of them, and then be done quicker.
You do the taste test, you know. Air fry one, air fry some others, you know, like.
Mhm.
I think
you-
mine is like you can fit 6 at least. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
you can
okay.
fit 6.
Oh, then
Mm.
yours is a lot bigger than you're probably double the size of mine, or 2.5 times.
Because on the box it said XL. Like it's like
Hmm.
air fryer XL on the box.
Mm.
Yeah, seems pretty nice.
Yeah.
My room's a mess right now, but I'm starting to. I got the wall shelf, the floating wall shelf, installed today, or was it yesterday? I'm about to start putting my Gundams over there.
Nice.
Gotcha. I mean, it's hard to tell though because we only started with like one wall. It's
Oh,
just like
dude,
pure blank.
The camera thing.
Yeah, where you're pointed at. Yeah,
Everywhere-
it's clean.
Everywhere else, it's like a goddamn jungle.
Do you think we'll ever see like any additions to that wall that we're seeing right here?
No, this is
Ever?
gonna be like my projector wall. We gotta keep it-
Right. You mentioned that before, so we'll never.
Never-
Throughout the podcast, we'll never see any changes. We're just gonna hear about it through like Dean's story. Like, here's some changes here.
Maybe he could project like
I swear it's there.
he can project like whatever background he wants. You know, it's like a green screen, but with the projector.
I was
It's a
about to
widescreen.
say, what if I like slip up? I had like Pornhub on the projector. And just like
Yeah, we get instant banned on Twitch.
Instant ban. Imagine like any like neighbors walking by, just like look through your window. Like, do you like leave your window closed all the time, or like you open it occasionally?
I open it like daytime when I'm awake, only to like not turn on the lights. Like
Makes sense.
It gets really bright. Like there's a big difference.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But
Sometimes I get that, but I have like another house like right across from me, so I'm like I don't get that much sunlight, even if I open up all my blinds.
Yeah, I just don't like people staring at me playing games.
Mm.
But yeah,
It looks like them people need to mind their own business.
right?
Yeah, I noticed about that like with at least with my sister and like some neighbors I've had like throughout the years, in that I'm legit like the only person I know that has like a window facing another house where I legit keep all the windows open. It's just like if you want to look into my room from the other house, you could totally see everything, bare bones and everything. But with everyone else, I know it's like, oh, I think their window shades are closed. Same with my sister, my younger sister. She keeps all of her closed. She's like, I don't want the neighbors looking into my room, and I'm like, I don't think it's a big deal, but you do you, friends. Same with like the bathroom as well. Like it's like if they see me, they see me. I'm comfortable with it.
You know, if they are offended by my beating off, that's their problem. All right, they shouldn't have been looking at my window in the first place.
I'm in my private property. My perverts.
Hey,
Like,
remember, when they start complaining, you send them the bill. Be like, hey, this show's not free.
give them the free the OnlyFans account. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, you got
Here's
paid.
the link. Here's the link right here.
You got
Here's
paid
the monthly
for the
subscription.
person,
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so.
Yeah. Yeah, although if they watch through the window, I mean, they're getting the premiere. Like no one else is seeing it, but them, you know.
They're just getting like a different angle, but this is the best angle though.
Yeah.
Because like
I
you just
mean,
get like a side profile.
I mean, it's a little extra. You know, it's like you don't consent to it, but they get to see it, even though you don't know that they know. You know, like it's like, hey, we're getting something we wouldn't get otherwise. You know, that whole like rush of like voyeurism. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's because it's like right there in person. Whereas with the phone, it's like, eh. So maybe they're getting the better end of the deal through the window.
Isn't voyeurism from like the perspective of the one being watched though, not the watcher?
Yeah, but it'll do it for them. Like I'm not talking about you. Who gives a fuck about you jerking off? Okay, and they're getting off watching you jerk off, but you don't know that they're watching you jerking off.
No, I'm just talking about like the rush you mentioned before.
And not for you, you know. No one gives a fuck. All right? Like, if you're getting a rush from being watched, okay. But yeah,
That reminds me of like whenever I was younger, or whenever I just came across porn where people are legit just like naked or nude out in public, and you just see them walk around. You're just like people are just staring. Like, first thing that came to my mind, like how is this legal? And two, I'm like, why would you do this? I don't understand.
well, you know what it really is though, right?
What?
When they do that sort of thing, it's usually like they just hire people to be like, hey, you want to just react to someone walking around naked like on the street? That's it. They just hire like random people on the street, or they can just like have like
Extras.
extras basically. Yeah, just the extras do the same thing. Don't need like an old lady extra to have a diverse audience, you know, a diverse set of extras. But yeah,
Yeah,
That-
I assume that, but I also had to assume like some of that has to be real.
no,
So,
no,
like,
you can't do that without their consent. Like, if you were to do that, like film a porn where you're walking around naked for a little bit before you have sex or whatever, or just like a shot of you walking down the street naked, the people there need consent to be in the video in order for their faces to be shown. Otherwise, they'll have to blur out the faces. And usually in these sort of scenes, that it's not possible. It's like how with like the prank videos, back when prank videos were things, like
Is that the same with all countries though?
all countries. I would
Yeah.
imagine. I would imagine maybe not all countries, but because I can't speak for every single one. But for most, I would assume yeah. Because you need the consent for their faces to be shown. If you don't get the consent, they will have to blur out the faces. Otherwise, it's like a lawsuit that they can throw. Like, hey, you use my face, without my consent. I didn't approve of it. I didn't write any contracts. I'm going to sue you for using my face without permission. If they were to find it or whatever, or yeah. Or the set approaches them and then they tell them like, hey, or maybe after the scene, like, hey, you consent to this, or even before, like, hey, do you consent to this happening? And yeah,
We're filming something, and
yeah,
your face is kind of showing.
it's like prank videos. With the prank videos on YouTube, same thing applied. You can't legally, you can get away with it if they never find out, but you can't legally show their faces on the video unless they give consent of showing their face on the video.
Yeah, usually they have like a behind the scenes and like asking, like, hey, this is gonna be on YouTube. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know if I like fully buy like it's like 100% like props or like 100% like consensual. I think there's like a couple.
It is, unless they're doing it like illegally, and then by doing that, they're violating like a lot of laws by doing that. And
Yeah, I mean,
person either doesn't care or they don't know.
I could easily see people doing it like illegally.
Yeah. But
To me, that seems like the most likely thing.
But I mean, yeah. But are they really gonna risk it though? Just like just go in a random spot in public and just randomly throw out someone naked and just not do anything about it, like or ask for consent before or after. I think that's a very incredibly unlikely. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think like there's a whole lot of consent involved. I think some people just do it.
Yeah, but they run a greater risk of just uploading that sort of thing without consent, though. The risk, the repercussions of doing that illegally heavily outweigh the process of just asking for consent, which is why a lot of this involves having actors or extras or just having the consent of random people on the street. It's like having like rape porn. Like rape porn is like it's not. You need everyone involved to consent to it. Otherwise, then yeah, like it would be really random if it would be really bad if a porn company just films a rape porn scene, and then one of the actors is like, "No, don't upload this. I don't want this to be uploaded," and then they do it anyway. You know, like sure it can happen, but for like 99% of the cases where it happens, no, they won't do it.
Does this rule still apply? Like, if you're just like regular like filming like an area of people,
Yeah, like not just for porn, but for actual movies. When you're filming,
YouTube, I mean like YouTube videos. Like, surely like you see like those YouTube videos with like a bunch of crowds. Surely they're not walking around to like every single person like asking like, "Hey, can I get your consent?" So, like,
right, but you have to when it comes to like being naked in public, though. That's the thing. Like when you watch for a regular YouTube video. I mean, even for a prank video where there's no naked people around. I mean, typically anyway. You at that point you're violating someone's right to just be out and about without worrying about being pranked, or in the porn case, we're worrying about seeing someone naked. So in those cases, yes, you do need to get consent. If it's just you watch it, if you're just vlogging, with random people on the street, you don't need their consent then, unless they explicitly tell you don't put it on YouTube, whatever. But when it violates their right to walk around in the street without seeing someone naked or without being pranked, then yes, you do need a consent then. I'm just starting to think you don't understand how like the legality of this works.
Probably not, but I also don't think a whole lot of people themselves care, or just I legitimately think that some people just do it despite the legality of it.
Sure, but for the overwhelming amount of times where these scenes are shot, and then no, it does not. That doesn't happen. Maybe like 1% it where like this is done illegally or without consent. But again, like you can't make that a rule. Like, oh, this is like this happens a lot. No, that's when it's just not true.
Oh well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one, because I don't know. I feel as though it happens enough times where
that's based off a feeling you have, though.
It is based.
In legal term, that's not what happens.
I'm literally not basing this off anything. I'm literally just basing this off a feeling. But I don't know. It's just the vibe I get. Like some people care about the legality of it. Some people are just like, I'm just going to get this video, and we're just gonna do it.
But that's what extras are for. They can act like they're like shocked, like the old lady who's like, oh, how dare she? Oh, she.
God damn, she kind of like.
Yeah, or there's like there's some people who are not like, huh.
No, I just have a hard time. I just have a hard time believing just like you're gonna hire people just to like walk through a scene for like.
That's what happens though. Like you can't just you need extras. That's how it works in film, TV, and adult film.
I know in film, but then like you like watch some stuff that's like you watch
need extras.
Like super low quality. You're like, why? Why would you?
If your goal is to aim a scene where you're in public, filming like a public scene with with someone walking around naked, you need to hire extras to fulfill to give you that immersion. Like, oh, this is a public scene. You're just not gonna be like, hey, yeah, I'm naked in public and not have anyone around, because the whole like rush, the whole like fetish of that is to be like, hey, I'm breaking the rules by being outside naked, like, but then no one's watching me. But so like, if no one's watching you being naked, then what's the point? The point of having the extras is to be like, hey, this is how people are reacting to me in disgust or in pleasure or arousal or whatever else, and then that fulfills the fantasy of you when you're jerking off to that video. Like, oh man, it must feel so good to be watched while walking around naked. That's the whole thing. Like. Yeah, that's why the extras are there. They're not getting paid very much, but they're still getting paid, which is why they have extras for these sort of things.
Got you. I would have to look into it, whether or not that's true or not, because I don't know. Again, I'm still basing this off of feelings, but I would have to look into it. We'll just agree to disagree for now.
Yeah, sure.
We'll return to this later.
You guys can return to it later.
We can.
Well, I'm not too hung up on this whole thing. I think Paul's just like really willing to try to prove himself right, but again, like
I still have that fantasy. Like someone out there is just like, I'm gonna fucking do it. So part of me is like, yeah, that's kind of hot. Like it's weird, but it's still kind of hot. So I'm like, don't want. Shut up, Jim. Don't ruin my fantasy, you bastard, you.
Well, I can ruin all of porn for you if you really want to.
Stop ruining my fantasies, man.
Did you know that when a girl is moaning when they're having sex, she's not really like that enjoying it that much? She's just doing it for the sound. I know, big surprise. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at a lot of scenes and you like hear a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's like it's kind of fucked up, and it's like a lot of work's involved. Apparently, a lot of shit involved too, like literal like poop.
Oh yeah. Especially anal scenes. I can't even imagine like what goes on. like on the unedited scenes and everything, where like they can't bring it up because of all the shit that happens. Like literally shit
Yep.
that happens.
Yep.
That's why like a lot of people like I think sex education is really important because when you because people are gonna watch porn like when you're like a 13-year-old boy and you have hormones going on, you're gonna beat off, you know. So
You
you
figure it out.
yeah you figure it out and you beat off, and then when you look
Especially
at
with the
porn,
internet.
people have the expectations like, hey, you know, the way they're fucking in this porn video is must be how people fuck in real life, but that's not true. Like no one goes to someone's house. Like,
No one
ask
goes for like 30 minutes straight without like busting a nut.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I get maybe some people do, but most people I reckon don't.
Yeah, in those videos, the produced ones, they go from shot to shot. Like you know, one angle they do like doggy, and then they switch to like missionary. Like they're not just like okay, flip around. They're like okay, we're doing doggy, cut, and then they pull out, get ready to go to the next scene, and then they do missionary. They bust a lot in between all these shots, and then yeah, like so like they're going like a marathon basically, and then they're like power fucking too. They're never like all right, let's go. They're just like yeah, brother, come on my face, brother. And they just do that. But that's not how people actually fuck, you know. Like unless like they're both like really kinky, but typically, that's not realistic way. So when people like watch that when they're young, they're just like, oh, this is what it really is, you know.
This is what
So,
sex is. This is how you're supposed to do it.
and yeah,
all
so the first time they're just like, huh, like, well, what's going on? Like, this isn't like the real thing. I'm busting so fast, but in the video they're going for like 50 minutes without stopping. How can this be? Yeah. Sometimes, you know, like you get so used to what you watch that you just can't bust at all. You know, like it happens to people. Like you just go at it for 50 minutes, you can't bust a nut, you can't, and you're like, what the fuck? What has happened to me? It's the first time it's ever happened to me before. And then you know you can't get off unless you jerk off. You know.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's where a lot of the subconscious is like a lot of guys have like, oh man, my dick is not right size, or it's
That's
like
why we need sex ed. By the way, sex ed teaches you like the porn sex isn't actual sex. Okay, like this is what you need to do, and you know they teach you like, hey, if you are gonna have sex, this is the safest way to do it. This is yeah, just do it in a safe way that doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah,
but we don't have that in America because America's terrible at that sort of thing.
Yeah, they just.
I mean, a lot of states, in a particular region of the U.S., I know when it comes like sex ed, the sex ed is legit just like don't do it, don't have sex, just abstain, wait till marriage and all that. And that's pretty much the only. Yep, you're a liar, such a liar.
Did you guys have sex ed? Like. Yeah, when you guys were in elementary or middle school, because I had like I had one day in 6th grade where all they did was like they're like, hey, you have any questions about sex? Write them here, and then being 12-year-olds, no one knew what the fuck what to ask, so they just asked like stupid questions.
Mine was on 7th grade.
I don't think we had that for my elementary.
And then for 7th grade, I had one too in my life science class where like.
Yeah. For...
They explained a little bit more, but then we still didn't like really understand. You know, it's like they did. Like I think one of the things that you should teach is how to put on a condom. You know, like and we didn't do that because it's like, you know, I guess they didn't have there wasn't enough funding for us to practice with the condoms or anything. So when people are like putting on condoms, they're just confused. Yeah, they're like, yeah. Oh, you think condoms are free? Nah, that shit ain't free. It costs money. All right,
Socialism.
Yeah, so like,
them
they're like, yeah, use a condom, be safe, everybody, and then everyone's like, how to use? And they're like, well, you don't have the money to teach you that, and it's here in California, so I'm like, yeah, like our sex ed was shit here too, from my experience anyway. It might have been different in your schools, but
I think we just watched.
I wouldn't know. I don't know if I experienced it or not. My mom was like, did not allow me to attend any of those classes, whether it was like puberty or sex ed. So
I think we just watched the video. Like a documentary about this pregnant lady giving birth.
I watched that in my biology class in high school, and then, I watched her like literally give birth, and I just remember the head popping out, and there's like blood everywhere. I was just like, oh god,
Yeah, Watch Night 7.
Yeah.
That was,
Isn't
I
life
already
beautiful?
Yeah.
I already knew about this. I just so that's
Like seeing it though is like different, you know. It's like you know people like there's some percent of people who like get decapitated, you know. But then when you see it, you're like, oh my god, you know, like yeah,
I was like, wow, that's how it is. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't know again because I never got to experience it. So when it came to our sex ed, I mean, even though like porn is not exactly like the best way to learn about sex or like romance and just like how the body works and all that.
I for
Those
one
different
take all my
functions.
romantic lessons from porn. I show up at a door with a pizza box and I get laid. Okay, that's how it works.
Damn, I didn't know it actually works.
Or
No, but I was about
you catch the lemon stealing person.
You also have to ask specifically. Did you order a big sausage pizza? You have to say those specific words. It doesn't matter what they ordered. They usually just say, "Did you order a big sausage pizza?" Okay, that's all. That's all you need.
if they're vegetarian or vegan. I don't know if vegans eat pizza or not. I don't.
No, they do. It's just that they use substitutes for the ingredients, like with cheese. They probably use some.
Would you still ask that
plastic
question if you're
shit.
like vegetarian or vegan or what have you?
I mean, if they're
order a
ordering,
big
if they're
sausage.
ordering a sausage pizza from a pizza place, I don't think they care about being vegan or vegetarian. Chances are, unless you want to be inclusive, you can be like, did you order a vegan gluten-free pizza with massive cucumber or something?
There you go.
Massive
And then you open the box and like your dick with like a green condom on or something.
Or did someone order the big eggplant? Ah.
And then
The emoji
you
came
look
to
at the
life.
camera and say like, see, we include vegans too. All right, vegan can also enjoy this sort of porn.
Wow, how inclusive.
And then raise your fist in the air, and then
That has to be like a porn plot somewhere.
and then as your butt, you're like, I'm about a soy.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's beautiful. The masterpiece.
Indeed.
It's a masterpiece.
Nah, before we got sidetracked with the soy
What were we talking about?
eggplant, I was about to ask, would you reckon like learning about sex through porn is better than like having zero sex ed at all?
I think no. I think it can actually be. I'm not saying as like a general rule, but I think in some cases it can be more dangerous. Yeah, because it sets you up with like unrealistic expectations. Whereas if you have no sex ed, you're able to like at least discover like on your own. At least you have that ability. At least because you're coming into it without porn. You come into it, which doesn't happen often because people usually come across porn, but you come across into it like without any real expectations of like how it should have went, because if you're watching porn and you're having sex with your girlfriend the first time and you bust a nut in like 10 seconds, which is the typical experience from what women usually talk about when they and their boyfriend lose their virginities to each other. The man is like, fuck, what's wrong with me, like am I just bad at this? In the porn video where I'm usually the guy, they're usually going at it for a few minutes at least, but I can't even do that. Am I like less of a man? That sort of thing kind of fucks up a guy. It does come with more practice. You get better at it, of course, but that expectation can hurt you a lot in some ways. Whereas if you're going with your girlfriend without any knowledge of porn, you're at least able to be like, well, I guess this is sex. You bust in 10 seconds, but you're like, well, that was cool. I'm hoping that I can get her off next time, maybe. But again, I'm not basing off of like a general rule or like anything. This is just a logical inference I can take based off of
Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I would have to side with you on that one. I think originally I would have like probably like I mean it's not real, like porn sex is not realistic sex, but at least it's like better than nothing. Which
there's some porn videos that aren't like educational. I would imagine anyway, but I don't think
but
it's
not
easy.
That's not
It's not the
porn,
hard ones,
obviously. Yeah, no.
Yeah. But
You only
yeah.
go there for like you have questions. But if we're talking about like regular like all right, what's hot, and you search for that, that's usually like the reference. Like I was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean it's better than nothing, I guess. Like maybe like inaccurate or kind of wrong information is probably actually no. I take that back. I follow politics. Never mind. I take that back. I was about to say like wrong information is better than no information. I'm like no, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Especially
you're right.
early
You're
on too,
right.
you learn all the wrong lessons. Like especially like imagine getting a girlfriend, your first girlfriend at 14 compared to when you're like 20. Like the maturity difference is quite big. So if you have feelings with that first relationship when you're 14, you're gonna learn the wrong lessons from that you're gonna carry on to your future interactions. Whereas
Yeah,
if you're
you're right.
20, you at
Yeah.
least have a little bit more experience with other people, so you can be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be this or that, or shouldn't act like that. So you can have a more stable relationship later on when you're 20, and
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I agree. All right, gents. Thoughts?
5.
Hmm?
Nothing.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's
success is just
mine.
important. I just say like
Yeah.
the states where like the people are like, oh, fuck sex ed. I want my kid to stay pure because he's a child of God. That's sort of
I like
those sort of
that.
states where that happens.
That's really like the big oof in
Yeah,
like
because those states have like the highest amounts of teen pregnancy
yes,
because
yeah.
they don't know how to use a condom. They don't know like what happens when you fuck. That sort of thing. Like
Mm. Yep.
yeah,
I reckon Jim has heard about this, but like Dean Kenny, have you guys like heard about the whole like like the whole Mormon sex thing where
soaking, right?
soaking, yeah. Have you guys heard
Oh.
about that?
Isn't it
Ah.
where you just like let it sit inside?
Yeah,
I
you stick
Yeah.
it inside and then you don't like.
This.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, and
Did we
you,
talk
you
about
don't
this?
thrust. You just stay there.
Okay. Yeah.
I
And
never
they're
heard
like,
of this
they're
at
like
all.
technically it's not sex because we're not like going at it. There's penetration, but that's not sex if we don't move our hips, right?
Again, I assume the sex started at the penetration. That's where I assume it started. Again, I'm basing this off of like all my porn and hentai. But I assume like, oh, it's in, your virginity's gone, therefore virgin.
I don't even consider sex to be like just penetration. I consider it just like you another person getting off together. That's really it for me, I think, right? So like even if you're both like just doing orally, like you guys are 69ing, you guys are, I still consider that like losing your virginity because you're having sex, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just basing off the logic. Like if two lesbian women have sex and they never like fucked a guy, but they still use like dildos and everything, like is that not sex anymore? Just because it's not like,
I mean, again, the whole virginity thing is like dumb. It's like just
Yeah.
based on people like perception. Like this is what I think is losing virginity, and this is what not. It's like it's just like
it's just weird. Like it's not consistent because like if you say like penetration is sex, then lesbian women who only fuck other women are like virgins because they never like were penetrated by a dick.
Thank you for the idea.
The strap on is like, yeah, but it's not a real dick, so it's not penetrated. It's like what? Like come on.
Now we got
would this mean that in the eyes of the Bible or the religious community that lesbians are the most holy? Because
Yeah, I guess so.
they could never sin.
someone up there knew what they were doing.
Can you imagine like a guy gets bullied by like this muscular Chad who has like 8 girlfriends, and then the guy's like, haha, virgin, and then the nerd looks the Chad right in the eyes, like, yeah, but pulls down his pants, pulls out like a giant dildo, shoves it up his ass. He's like, bitch, I got penetrated. Ain't no virgin anymore. All right.
No virgin anymore, bitch.
I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, again, it's all dumb. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It only matters to people who are like, or I guess kind of religious, or like the whole culture thing. Like, oh man, I really need to lose my virginity. Like you see in those like early 2000s, like high school movie videos or high school movies, where like we need to have sex. That's the most important thing, and that's just the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah. Like, I hear one of the movies that started out was like American Pie, where like it's just set a trend of like, all right, this movie's about teenagers wanting to have sex, and then it's just like that's the entire plot of the movie, and it's done like 8 million times after.
Yeah.
It's a little boring.
Yeah, I mean, I felt so like a bunch of those. I don't think they do that anymore. Really, if they are, it's like really backwaters Netflix or something. But yeah, it's not very exciting because they all feel like very cookie cutter and the same. It's like, nerdy guy, hot girl, and then or hot girl that the nerdy guy wants to bang, but then he also has this female friend who also is hot but not movie hot. So, but they bang and all that. That's pretty much the formula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually like, the girl is like impeccably perfect and she has like zero flaws. She's just really nice to the main guy, and then the whole movie is just him wanting to fuck her. And then yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Kinda I don't know. It's just been done so many times.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I remember seeing it like one of those movies like with you guys, and I was like, remember like, all right, cool. I guess the girl's hot. I guess.
What are you talking about?
I don't remember which movie. Just
Oh.
generic movie where it's like, all right, party, and then
I did like
goal
the
is
movie
sex.
Blockers, which I've watched with Dean. I think Kenny was there. It's like a different take on the whole like I'm gonna lose my virginity thing. With the Blockers, it was I remember it had John Cena on it, so like that's how I didn't remember it. But it was just John Cena and two parents trying to stop their parents from having sex on prom. Stop their kids from having sex on prom night. So the kids are want to fuck on prom night, and then the parents are trying to cock block them basically. And I thought it was a good movie.
Hilarious.
Yeah, John
I
Cena did really. I didn't expect him to be that funny in the movie too. So yeah, he did a good
I
job.
think I vaguely remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it's very funny.
What was it? Blockers? Or was it like cock blockers? I
It
don't
was
remember.
Blockers.
Blockers.
It's not exactly subtle as to what blockers is short for, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
All
have,
right,
like,
got
a
you.
little rooster symbol and then block.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I was probably thinking that.
I think blockers is a little more marketable than cock blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you got to sell those tickets, make that money.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I enjoyed that movie. It was a
remember
different take. It was a different take on the whole virginity thing on prom, and yeah, I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. Like to mix it up, like like how a lot of movie mediums tend to like go with what's safe, go with like the same formula over and over. And that's why you get this whole stagnation when it comes to like movies. So you feel like
it's what sells. I fucking tired of movies that where it takes place in a high school and then the goal is to have something at prom. It can be like a date. It can be a girlfriend. It could be like getting that girl back. Whoever it is, prom is always like the final, like the boss stage of the movie. I'm so tired of that shit.
Hey, man.
I don't know, man.
What about graduation or summer school?
Summer school. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just not meant for us because I don't know if any of us really went to. I don't know if any of us went to prom or maybe one of us did, but
I didn't go.
I know for sure I didn't go.
None of us go to.
I didn't care.
Yeah, none of us went. I didn't care. I think
Yeah,
out of all of us, there's ever been on the podcast. I think Ron probably would have, right? I would imagine.
I don't think.
Yeah, we're not.
Maybe,
Really?
Maybe he did.
I would imagine he'd be the one to have gone.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, maybe he would have gone then. Yeah, I think he.
Then
I don't
maybe Jeffrey, like with friends.
Yeah, Jeffrey, because our other friend went too, and maybe he went to go
Yeah,
tag along.
Joram I know
Maybe.
went to prom for sure. That's the one person I do know, but he's more like a guest than he is like a recurring. Yeah, I mean,
Gotcha.
whatever recurring means amongst the our podcast, but yeah,
But in any case, all four of us were not the market audience for that because none of us really cared.
I just didn't give a shit.
I mean, we had military ball. That was just that was the prom for me. I was just like,
I would have because I would only know a few people going to prom, and it'd be just the RTC people, and it's like all right, I guess.
Yeah, indeed.
yeah.
Even then, I wasn't too hot with that either. So
Yeah, I just didn't give a shit about prom like that.
yeah.
It
feels it's overhyped.
Like I could have gone, but I was just like, why would I do that when I can just stay home?
I can stay home and play games. I know exactly. I could do better things with my time and be happier.
Yeah, funny enough, I think we went to fucking Denny's that night. We're gonna go eat at Denny's, and then all the prom people went to Denny's also. And we're like, what the fuck?
Go away.
So we saw people from our school eating at Denny's. So we're just like, oh, okay. I guess Denny's is like, the cool hangout spot.
Yeah. Was like a dichotomy between like, we're casually dressed and other people are like, oh look, you're dressed out or like in suits and like dresses eating at Denny's.
One of these days, someone from our high school is gonna have a movie based off in their life, and then we're not gonna be important enough to be included in like the extras in the prom scene. We're just the people at home that the one like the movie never mentions, you know?
They're like, who are you again?
Like something crazy could happen in their lives during prom night, and the movie will be based on that, but we will have no part in that movie. I know I'm a different year, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I don't watch a whole lot of movies in the first place. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
I
They do depict us. They'll bring some like lookalike that.
Would they depict us though? Would they? Would we really be there?
Like just have like as like a random Asian kid, you know, like just have a random Filipino kid just in the background. They're like,
Dude,
this is
like the
every
entire
Filipino kid who's not represented in the movie.
That was like at least
And Dean
70%
will be
of the
like,
pop.
"Hey."
That was at least 70% of the population of our school with like just Asian kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it don't matter. They all look the same. Just like
Yeah.
change up like the tint color in the character creation screen a little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys, how you feeling?
It would really depend on the person, if they knew us or not. If not,
Yeah,
and
indeed.
I don't think it's happening.
Is it Joram gets a movie based on his prom night, and then
We're fucked.
yeah.
And the ass slapping.
Maybe at least they'll get a screenshot of us commenting on his prom night picture or something. You know, like hey, this is with my buddies. You know, the 1 second frame of the screenshot of the Facebook post.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All
right.
Have anything? Have anything to say?
Yeah. Anything to add, Cloud?
You don't have to be shy, Cloud. You don't have to be shy.
Yeah.
Where? No, right there. What are you looking at? What's over there? All right.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
my
he'll
kid's feeling a little
get
shy
to it.
right now too.
He'll get to it one day.
One day.
All right.
All right.
It's an hour 6. I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, do the outro.
Me? Do the outro?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Ah, nuts. Alright, well, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and all that. The link will be somewhere on our Twitch page. And, if you like enjoying us, watching us live, come join us every Wednesday at like 6:30 Pacific time and all that. I don't know the difference between the Pacific Standard, don't care. And yeah.
Something, yeah. Isn't it happening this Wednesday or this Sunday?
This Sunday is when the time
Probably.
changes. Yes.
Daylight savings and all that.
Correct.
Was it like an hour ahead or an hour back? I don't remember.
I don't give a shit.
An hour back.
Hour back.
Yeah, I think next week. Right now would be 6:30. Like, yeah. Yeah. So-
near.
So I think next week this is when we begin the podcast episode.
Mm.
Around this time.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
gonna suck.
Okay, so that just means like sleep in an extra hour then.
Yeah.
Sounds like all right. That's neat. That's some people are gonna be happy about that. I'm gonna be one of the few people who are like kind of sad just because like when I wake up in the morning for my runs, it's like it's nice and dark. I like it. Now I have to see the bloody sun when I'm out. Like,
He just likes it. He gets to activate stealth. He's just like, yeah.
I do get to activate stealth. I have the entire track to myself. It's like the darkness is like a soft blanket for me. I feel nice and safe in the dark. But when the sun comes out, I'm like, get out here.
Yeah.
I feel exposed. I feel naked.
Yeah, I got new glasses, by the way. Well, these are the Bose glasses, the one that has like the you can like play music.
Oh yeah, I thought about getting those, but I'm like that. But then again, is it really like gonna be very good sound? You know?
It is. The Bose
Really?
ones are.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
And
I know Bose puts out good stuff, but I'm most skeptical about that.
we almost got tempted by the Razor, but then we because we didn't know it was Razor at first. We were like, oh, this other brand looks really good, but then we found out it's Razor, and then we're like,
Oh yeah,
nope.
Gotcha.
the Razer Anzu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. It looks pretty sleek, but it's Razer. Yeah.
It's Razer.
How much is this? 200. Holy fuck.
But yeah, I got my prescription for these.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was a hefty price, but I saved up for it.
So you can see
Ooh.
and play music.
Yes, I tried it
Oh.
earlier.
Damn.
Like, what does it look
Damn,
like
son.
with your around your ear? Like, is it noticeable? Like you're listening to shit? Wait, how the
Uh,
fuck do you?
I think
How do you hear anything?
You can hear it because the thing is right here.
Uh huh.
The speaker is right here. So
But then when people around you hear,
if you have the volume on high, but like if it's like low where you can it's like if you play on a low volume, you'll be fine.
oh okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
And they
I
also
thought maybe like they had like little ear thing on the end or something.
no.
But yeah. Okay.
Keeps it subtle.
Yeah. They also
Yeah.
transition, so no more sunlight for me, baby.
So did you and Ron get it or?
Yeah, we did. Ron didn't get
Okay.
his prescription though. I did. I was like, fuck it.
Because- Oh, okay.
Like, why would I wear sunglasses if I can't see shit?
Very true. Very true.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Hope you guys all have a good one.
You made it this far. You're amazing.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, guys.
Episode 60.
Yes, it's episode 60.
Oh wow. Cool.
All right. All right. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace.
Peace out, Girl Scout.